Hello and welcome to the Music Survival Guide, the independent musician's guide on how to survive the music industry. My name is Phil, a mixing engineer. Hope you're doing wonderfully well out there, and I have a doozy of a podcast for you today. I'm chatting with Ben James, the guitarist of The Heavy Souls, and we talk about all sorts of things like surviving through thick and thin to get the success that he wanted in the music scene, jamming and instinctively feeling if a song is right to you to take it forward, and the joys of longer form tracks on albums and why you shouldn't discount them. I'm going to stop talking now and just say on with the interview. So, today on the podcast, I am chatting to Ben of The Heavy Souls. Ben, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, yeah. It's quite sunny outside. Cooped up inside, but you know.
It's probably going to be freezing, though, let's be honest. It has been for the past few days.
Been alright. It's been alright where I am. I don't know.
Oh, it's been raining horrible where we are.
Well, never mind. It's not raining now, so hey-ho. My first question for you, as always, is from an online random question generator. And it's, what is your earliest memory?
What is my earliest memory? Oh, God. Probably meeting my best friend on the friendship bench in school.
Friendship bench?
Yeah, we had a friendship bench where you sat if you were lonely.
Oh, fair enough.
And we started talking about Clive Barker's Jericho on the Xbox. And that started a 17-year-long friendship, so that was quite fun.
Well, that's all right. That's not a bad early memory.
Yeah, it's all right.
Cool. So to ask, I guess, a more serious question, how did you get into music in the first place?
It was my granddad starting taking me to shows and stuff and playing Zepp in car. Zepp and Manson were always ones being played in car. And I don't know what it were. I got my first guitar when I were in year 4. And then I had, the lessons that you do in school where people using it as an excuse to take an hour out of class and stuff like that. And then I didn't carry it on until, I always carried it on, but I weren't really bothered. And then I got an electric in year 5, and I was like, oh, this is way cooler learning Zeppelin songs badly as a 9-year-old than it is to sit there learning every 4-chord pop song on the planet in a lesson in school. So I stopped then. Then I carried it on, just started playing tunes. Then I think I were in year 7, year 8. So I was probably 10 or 11. And my mum and dad bought me a Line 6 half stack for my birthday. And I was like, yeah, this is the one. It weren't even a Spider combo, the full 412 Spider head and cab. It was great. And then from there, I was just like, wow, I can really start playing tunes. Yeah, and it started with me playing, even though I started playing rock stuff, it started with me playing metal. So I was a huge Trivium fan. And I just really wanted to learn loads of Trivium stuff. So one of my first guitars, I had a few Les Paul styles, but one of my first guitars was a 7-string ESP. I was like, yeah, this is the boy. Joined my first band at 12 and then ended up playing loads of shows, but it was a post-hardcore band. So you got 12-year-old me playing in this post-hardcore in drop B.
That's quite a leap as an early guitar to go to 7-string.
Yeah, I went straight from trying to learn Zeppelin's Heartbreaker to playing post-hardcore at 12. It was a leap. It was fun, and then I just never carried on playing metal after that. Yeah, the band kind of ended because the other guitarist at the time is a good friend of mine. He moved over to Florida. The two of the other members, they were a lot older. They were thinking about what they wanted to go to college and do. And then it just kind of fizzled out. We used to rehearse at it was all over because we couldn't find a dedicated space. So it was we'd rehearse in Sheffield one day, and then we'd rehearse in one of their bedrooms the day after. And it was just all over the place. It was everybody wanted to do it, but there was not really a plan of action when we were all 12 to 15. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into the whole expensive hobby of trying to be in a band.
That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah.
So the band fizzles apart. How do you get from there to The Heavy Souls?
So when I was about 13, I posted just a video on Facebook just saying I'm looking for a singer to do some stuff with. And it was mainly us just doing whatever viral cover was at the time. It was kind of I think it was roughly around the time that Vine were a thing and stuff like that. So like social media was kind of popping off a bit. And it was when people were going like viral on doing a really bang average acoustic cover in the bedroom, singing in like a really bad cursive accent and that. So a friend of mine, we started playing together. We got really popular to doing a cover of Bastile's Pompeii. So then he was like, oh, should we find some more members? And then I was like, oh yeah, I already know, there's already a guy that I go busking with, because I just used to go and play in like the town centre. So we got together, and then I think he knew, and then I was in the Air Cadets, and I met the drummer through that, because we ended up being put in like the same flight or everywhere. So I met the drummer through that, and then the bass player was the singer's friend, who we just kind of needed, because it was meant to be pop punk, but it weren't really. It was like kind of, we were all obsessed with 5 Seconds of Summer, so it was like that pop punk, like Disney rock kind of stuff. But we started doing that, released about 4 tracks, and then got like violently popular. So we were like, I were in school and we got this call saying, oh, do you want to play Soccer 6, that like celebrity charity event at the Soccer Dome in London? And we're like, yeah, this would be great. Turned up and there's like a whole like just dome of people just with signs with our name and stuff on it. Weird. So we
What was this band called?
We were called Our Saving Day, and then they changed names a few years back to Clear Vinyl. But yeah, it were weird, because like we turned up and it was the way they ran it was like popular influences at the time of that year, and then it were like the X Factor winners of that year and contestants, stuff like that. So there was like the Geordie Shore, some of the Geordie Shore crew were there. I think it was Bailey McConnell. I can't remember if he was Britain's Got Talent or X Factor, but he were there. There was a load of big influencers, a few grime artists that are now really popular were there. It was like when everyone was starting out. So we ended up playing that, which was very weird, because like I had to somehow explain to school that 13, 14-year-old me is going down to London to be part of some influencer charity event. And after that, I started getting back into my more classic rock like Zepp and stuff like that. Wanted to take the band a different direction. Didn't really. None of us really could agree on what we wanted to do, so that ended. Well, I say that ended. They got a new guitar player and I went and did my own thing. Joined, so then started the band, and it was called Stand Amongst Giants. Stand Amongst Giants was me, a lad called Harry, bassist called Adam, and then our drummer at the time was first drummer was a lad called Ben. So we started that. We were starting just by learning covers together, because none of us had ever written stuff together, and I was 15 at this point, so we started doing that. Once we'd got about, I think, 7 songs, like 3 originals and 4 covers, we got asked if we wanted to do a show at the O2 in Sheffield, and we were like, yeah, cool. Didn't have a name, because we'd just started. We'd only been a band for about 4 weeks, so we didn't have a name or anything. So they said, what do you want to, like, we need a name for the ticket. So the name became Stand Amongst Giants, which we all hated for years. Absolutely hated it, but we needed it because the band name was the album name that what we wanted to call the album. Couldn't call it that because we didn't have an album or a band name. So we started doing that, and then we were playing more like alt rock, like Mallory Knox style stuff. Went from that, and then one day I decided, I went in with our producer and I was like, I really want to start writing this type of stuff. Where do I start? What would you do? And then I just found this absolute love for what we play now. Drummer didn't agree with it. He was a massive metalhead, so we lost the drummer. We were a 5-piece at the time, so we had 2 guitars. We let our rhythm guitar player go. We lost the drummer, got another drummer, and then I think for about 5 years it was just, about 4 years, 3-4 years, it was just drummer, new drummer, new drummer, new drummer. I can earn more in a covers band, I'm leaving, new drummer. So it was like 4 years of, I think we had like something like 18 drummers. I mean, we're lucky that we could find 18 drummers, but we had about 18 drummers. So we had one lad that recorded the first lot of stuff with us called Luke, and he was an absolute monster. Did that. And then because we were all quite young, the singer one day just basically said, like, look, I need a bit of a break. I think everybody else took that because we did something like 173 gigs in a year. So like it was a really heavy schedule. We didn't care where, we'd do 2 in a day if we wanted to. So problem with that was it was kind of wearing on everybody. I was in school. The bassist was in like his final year of uni. I was in college. Bass was in his final year of uni. Singer was deciding what he wanted to do. The drummer at the time was going through it as well. So everyone kind of had stuff on. He said he needed to take a break, and I think everyone took it as we've lost the singer. So then that just fizzled, stopped. Got a new lineup for it because we had some shows booked, and I don't like cancelling shows, so we got a new lineup for it. They were all right, lads. We didn't get along for a few years after it, but we get along more now. But it was more like none of us could see eye to eye on things. Whether it was, I think we should do this in a chorus. No, you're wrong. We should do this. One of those. It was like we kind of were just we played together just to play together. Didn't really write anything. We had Hard Rock Hell Crows booked at Sheffield when they were doing that one. We were asked to headline second stage, which we were like, well, pardon. And from that, it came to 2 or 3 months before the show, so it was like a September show. It came to August, and I was like, right, we've got this. Band members walked. I was like, great. I'm a big issue, aren't I, here? So luckily I found a drummer that really wanted to do this type of stuff. So we had a drummer, and then Clark, our singer, this is how the Heavy Souls formed as it is. So Clark, our singer, joined Stand Amongst Giants. He messaged me saying, you need a singer and a bassist, I need a guitar player and a drummer. Should we form like a super group? And I went, after that, I says, we're not big enough for that. I says, after that, you've got songs, we've got a load of songs, and we've got a load of gigs booked. I don't want to cancel. Just why don't you just come over? So that became Stand Amongst Giants from 2018 to 2020. Through COVID, me and Clark started writing together because we were our own little social bubble. And then after COVID, the drummer at the time had a kid, so he was like, and his wife's a teacher, so he had to kind of decide, right, I need to be able to put my focus at home. So he left. We had another drummer for a bit, and then the bass player wanted to play more like, I don't know how you describe it. It was a lot more like groove metal stuff. So he formed his own band. So again, we were left without a drummer or a bass player, me and our singer. And then I were at uni, and I went to uni with the current drummer. So I forgot you were a drummer, because to me it was just Charlie at uni. And we had a show booked, and the drummer that we had that kind of came in for a bit was like, I can make more money in a Darkness tribute band. I'm going to leave. We're like, all right, brilliant. There we go. And it were about a week before the show, and I'm really stubborn and I don't want to cancel shows. So I says to Charlie, I says, completely forgot you were a drummer, but would you be able to fill in for a show this week? And he went, yeah, when is it? I was like, oh, it's in 3 days. He went, yeah, sure, let me learn the stuff, send me the set. Sent him the set. I only sent him 30 minutes because we dropped it down because if we needed to find a drummer. Rang me the day after, can I come to Chesterfield today, because he's in Manchester. So got the train down to Manchester. I was like, yeah, cool, learn the whole set. Learn 30 minutes, learn every song that we had, which was like 45 minutes to an hour, just overnight. So we played with him. The boys came through here, so we had a lad called the current bassist, Ryan. He'd kind of come and gone a few times. So we were like, Ryan rang us and was like, do you still need a bass player, because I really want to come back? So we were like, yeah, cool, you're back. We did this show with Charlie, and I said, Charlie, do you mind just going and standing out like with the crowd or whatever for a minute? We just need to have a chat. And it was basically me saying, we really can't let this boy like not be in this band because he's incredible. So that was how that formed. We just kind of forced Charlie into getting the train down from Manchester every weekend. And then I think it came to about a couple of years ago, and I was like, I hate this band name. I've hated it for about 12 years. I want to change it. And we were just throwing names around, and then the Heavy Souls is the one that came up. I basically did like band name list generator in my head, and they were like, right, we've got bands like These Wicked Rivers, and a lot of bands in our genre will start with these or the something. So I was like, we need a the something. We all voted on Heavy Souls as the band name. I did some cool like logos for it, which is the main logo you've got now, and everyone was like, yeah, that's cool. And then that's how this formed. took a break of 5 months, recorded an album, and that's kind of where we are now. Like, we've released the album, and that's how we've got to today. So it's taken me 5 bands, 16 drummers, a load of different genre changes to finally get into a band that's stayed together.
And here you are.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, I'm going to say, like, listeners who are in bands will very much relate to some of that, you know, and you get your difficulties and your challenges, and it's how you navigate through them, isn't it, that really matters.
Yeah, it's hard. It really is. Enjoyable when it works out, but for like the hour of enjoyment you get on stage, you've got like 3 months of prep to do. It sucks.
Yeah, totally. I mean, what was your first gig like? I'm going to say like your first gig with the current lineup, so with Charlie as your drummer. Obviously, he'd learnt the set last minute, but
yeah. So we were at Yellow Arch in Sheffield. So what happened was the 2 bands that were on this lineup had been booked, and then we got booked. They were saying we're still looking for a headliner, so we got booked. The promoter got a mix up and said we were main support. The band that had been put onto headline came over to us and went, we really don't want a headline. We don't want to go on after you guys. We were like, fair enough. Like, are you sure? Because like that's going to cut your set. Like we said, we'll cut our set, like, so we both do 45. And it were rammed, but we did this show and we had to it got to the point in the rehearsal that week that me and Charlie came down in the daytime to my studio to rehearse, and the boys came at like 5-6 o'clock after work to do the rehearsal, and then when Clark or Rye pulled me aside and said, how's it going? Like, can we do it? I went, oh, you'll see. It got to the point, through the day that he'd learned the set that well that we were putting in between parts of songs in. Like, should we put a drum solo part here before this song so I can change guitars and tune up? And like War Pigs that we play at the end, we play like just a snippet of War Pigs where the cool drum fills are at the beginning. We just play that at the end of She Devil. And that came in because me and Charlie were like, what can we do in this bit of the set? Like, he learned it to the point that we didn't even have to rehearse the set. It was, how should we structure it? What do we want to do? Should we change this to this? It were incredible. So we did this show, and I don't think Clark and Rye were quite prepared. I mean, they'd done a rehearsal with him, but it's always different, innit? Because this boy's completely different on stage to in a rehearsal. So we played War Pigs, and he did some basic fills in rehearsal just to... I think he was still going like, right, we're doing War Pigs here. I need to remember it. So like, cool. Got to the actual show, and he was an absolute animal. Like, we all looked at each other on stage and just grinned. We were like, yeah, this is this one. I mean, the first lot of compliments we got from that show were, and a lot of the ones we still get are, God, your drummer's unreal. It's always Charlie. It's always about Charlie. It's mental. He's pretty much our second front man, because whilst me and Raya stood there posing and Clark stood there doing his leg stomp, Charlie always stood on top of his kick drum. It's mad. So that's how that first gig went. And then since then we were just like, because he was in a few bands up in Manx, so we were like, look, if you can rehearse even twice a month with us and just do the shows, like, that'd be great. So we did everything we could to make sure he was in the band, and then we signed our contract with our management. We changed names, and we were all like, yeah, no, this is... He'd left his other 2 bands. He still helps out on where he needs to, but it was like I've left these 2, I want to do this one. So we're like, right, okay, that's when we thought, right, we'll change names and we'll get serious about it. Signed to our management company, so now we're all signed into a contract where it's expensive if any of us leave the band. And so we've locked everybody down. And yeah, that's about how that first show went. It was weird, because we weren't prepared for it at all.
Well, that's always reassuring. I mean, have you had any like nightmare experience gigs where things have gone wrong, or has it been all right?
Nightmare experience gigs where things have gone wrong? I've had my amp blow up twice.
Oh, right, okay.
We were at Leadmill the other day. We're releasing our album, and we wanted to do main stage because it's like where I've seen my favourite bands play. We sold the first room out in about 4 days. So we're like, right, they'd added that. So Leadmill usually, if you've seen it, it's got 2 stages, 250 cap, 1,000 cap room. But the 1,000 cap room, you can do 6, 7, 8 or 900 cap, and then... But they've bought a new rig to set up a second stage. So instead of being the big wide 1,000 cap room, you face the other way. So half of the stage the room's cut in half, where they build a stage in the room. So we'd got put on that, and he was like, and the promoter was like, oh, yeah, that's a 350 cap, that one. I'm like, yeah, cool. We'll sell that. We've just done 250 in 4 days. Sold that one out about a month later, and we were like, I rang him, and at this point we've only got like a month to the show. And I says, right, well, can we upgrade to the main room? He goes, it won't feel the same though. I'm like, no, it will, because we're going to sell way more than this. Ended up with, I think we ended up doing it at about a 600 cap. So we were like, right, main stage, 600 cap. I'd spent ages tuning drums up for Charlie, like proper getting the thing sorted, sorting the amp wall out, do you know what I mean? Just getting the stage perfect. Got to the gig, got to rehearsal, my tech turned up, and I was like, something's not right here. My amp's on, but the switch is off. It's like, we took the fuse, we looked at one of the valves, and one of the valves had cracked. So, but very slight, so all air, so it'd gone white. So I'm like, shit, right, okay, this is gonna be fun. Got to the, rang my amp tech up. I was like, what can cause this? He went, have you taken your fuse out? I went, no, let me have a look. Fuse had blown. So fuse had blown. It'd blown first valve in chain. I'm like, right, it's my main amp, because I'm using two lives. I'm using the 74 Super Lead and an OR50. I can't just gig with the OR50, it's too dark. I was like, right, what time is it? Oh, 4:45. I says, what time are you leaving your like tech place? He went, oh, about 5 o'clock. I was like, right, I'll be there in a minute. Took over a keys player's car and absolutely slammed it down to ours end of Sheffield to go and get a new amp fuse to drive back and hope that it worked. I didn't have any spare valves because I'd left them at home, because I never usually take valves out with me, because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to bias it myself. So I'm like, right, it's 2 hours to doors. We've not even sound checked yet, and my amp's just blown up. Brilliant. So finally got that sorted, but we had to run it at 50 watts, hoping it was for the best. And for the whole show, I'm just kind of constantly turning around to make sure that my light's not like turned off. So that blew up. That was fun. We were playing Breaking Bands Fest a few years back as Stand Amongst Giants, and the drummer at the time's van broke down an hour away. So our singer went to get him in the Tesla, and the Tesla ran out of charge an hour away. So we had to sort that out. That was fun. We've had God, no ender issues, and they're usually just like really stupid. I mean, like I say, amp blowing up, band members not being able to make it because something's broke down. Like the singer was at the gig, and then he had to go out and get the drummer, and then his Tesla decided to run out of battery and say you've got to charge it. So that was fun. And it's just no gig ever seems to like not be a hassle for us.
At least you can look back on it and laugh. That's the important thing.
It's probably why I'm going to go grey by 28.
I'm what am I, 33, and I've noticed some grey hairs, and I've gone, oh, okay.
I'm joining my dad. He went grey at like 30, and I'm not far behind on sides of me. I just want to shave it.
Hey, well, you can look distinguished. Long white hair. It's
silver fox.
Do it. So, how do you guys write songs as a band? Do you kind of jam together, or do you kind of individually write songs? How does that work for you?
Everything's a jam session. So all our tracks come about just from jamming about. So bar a couple of them. So I think it was Sleepwalking was me and Clark in COVID, and I said, right, we need like a hook or a chant, but not like words. We need something that's just like gets stuck in your head. So we had this chant for another song. There was a riff that was, the chant was the same as the riff, so it was kind of like all going on together, and we're like, yeah, this could sound really cool. Nothing came of it because then COVID happened. So we were like, right, what if we take the, because that's when I decided I'm going to go and set up like a little home studio so I can write. And we wrote it, and we were like, what if we did a chant and then a riff that's completely separate? So a chant over a riff, and then we were like, right, what about if we use this one, slow it down, change the key of it? And that's how Sleepwalking came about. And then it went through a load of different changes. It was like, do we do a riff as the chorus? Do we do chords as a chorus? What do we do? Do we even really do a chorus? What do we do? So we kind of had Sleepwalking nailed in, and it was just a case of like figuring out the best way to do it live, because basically it opens with a big chant. Me and Clark have to kind of harmonise with each other. We're really bad at that, because if I'm out, he'll try and match me, whereas I'm trying to match him who's in. So it's really embarrassing. So that's why we now put it on a drum pad. We play the intro through a drum pad, and then we all come in. Whereas the rest of the album stuff is all jammed. So like Caught in Your Spell, I think Charlie had packed down a few of his cymbals, Ryan was packing down his bass, and I was like, I'd just picked up a new guitar, and I was like, oh, let me just try this out, let's see how it sounds. And the first thing I did was come out with Caught in Your Spell's riff, and Clark was away at this point, so me, Charlie and Ryan were doing a writing session. I said, what about this? And then everybody set the stuff back up at like 10:30 at night. We're like, yeah, what about this? And it came together, I think, in about an hour, if that. Changed completely when we went into the studio, because we said to our producer, what can we do? Because we're not a fan of the verse. We like it, but it's not right. And then we worked on it in the studio, because what we do a lot is we'll write something, we'll get it rehearsed to the point that we could play it in our sleep, but then we'll go into the studio and say to our producer, right, let's record the guides for the drummer, but what can we change? What can we do different? So even when we're in the studio, we're still writing up until we've had them mastered. Up until we've kind of packed down our instruments and gone home, we're still writing the tracks. So even now, there's bits in the tracks that we'll play live that we go, God, that should have been in the album. But then we say, on the other hand, we're like, well, that's a live thing. Like there's no need for not broken, one of the solos to go on for like 6 minutes. Because on the album, it's a minute or 30 seconds. Whereas live, it's like, now let's extend it, let's do something cool. So everything you hear live will have been either changed in the rehearsal room. We don't really play the songs as is live, if we can help it, because it's no fun. Like, a lot of people compliment you on they sound the same live as they do on the album, but where's the fun in that? Like, then I may as well just listen to the album and save myself 72 quid going and see them in an arena. But no, that's the main thing we do. We just jam. It's my problem is I can't write using like Logic or, you know, like plugins. I can't do it, because nothing beats like standing there with a real amp and all my boards in front of me and being able to just try something. I know a lot of bands write, like the guitarist will write something on recording to Logic, send it over to the drummer will put a drum beat to it, like an electric kit. Bassist will do the same. I just can't do it. I don't want to wait a week to get the drums put into my song so I can finish off the next verse. I don't want to do it. So I'm very much need to be in a room. And the same goes for all our recordings. Everything is completely live. We don't overdub at all. The only thing we overdub on is like vocals to add layers. But guitar tracks for the album, nothing's been overdubbed. I think on The River, it has been by accident, and that's because for some reason something didn't mute. So in the solo, you can hear like a weird rhythm track on the guitar playing and another solo track playing underneath it. So instead of being like, right, what do? We just included that in the solo, so we made the background stuff really spacey. But other than that, everything's completely live. So I think the first run of songs where we didn't record to a click, it was just straight to the drummer. They're solid. You can put a metronome to, and I think it'll go out by a beat occasionally. It's insane. Whereas the next lot of stuff was, there's obvious time signature changes, or there's obvious parts that get faster or slower on purpose. So we had to put a click to them, but we didn't accent the click. So it was just a constant click, and we could decide whether we're changing to 5/4 or now we're changing to 3/4. Because we said to our producer, like, well, this bit changes for a bar. What do we do? He was like, well, scrap the click off. Just have a click, just a general click in the background, and you can decide what time signature is being used, which is really cool. But then, like, the guitars, no overdubs. Solos are separate because I like adding effects to it. But all the guitar tracks, it's just 3 amps, 9 microphones, and just a wall. So I think every song has got like 9 guitar tracks on it or thereabouts. Whereas usually what I used to do is guitar track through this one, and then guitar track through this one, but on a different guitar and different amp. So we scrapped that idea and just put all the amps in the room. But yeah, everything that we do is focused on live. If we don't like how it could be portrayed live, we will scrap it. That could be a finished song. I mean, we've got loads on back burner. Could be finished. If we don't stand there and it doesn't come to us in the first 5 minutes, we don't carry on working on it. That's it. If it takes us that long to figure it out, we can't be that bothered about it.
I guess the big reason why you guys go to the studio rather than home recording is so that you can do that live in the room thing.
Yeah. It's one of those. I've got the place there. I've got all my amps there. I've built the place so it's pretty silent out on the road. So why not just get together? I mean, we don't always rehearse the set. It's one day we could be doing social media content. The other day it could be like, what do we want to do? Should we try writing something? Yeah. And I mean, we're 4 tracks into the next album at the minute. So we want to release that I think what we said is we don't want to be one of these bands that waits 2 years per album, 2 or 3 years, because, I mean, I'm bored playing the songs. I love playing them live, but my God, I've played them for like 3 years. I want new. So everything is just focused on us being live. It's now that, especially now that we've added a Hammond player, everything has to be focused on what we sound like live. Recordings you can get away with, like no one really knows if I messed up that chorus because nobody hears me messing up. Whereas like live, everything has to be perfect. It's why, I mean, our live set now is like, I think, an hour and a half for a headline show. It's because we find it hard to condense it into 45 minutes. Like, we'll do it, but our songs are long. The 14 track like deluxe album that we've done is just over an hour long, and that is horrendously long. But it's me wanting long solo sections and not being able, I don't like pre-choruses, so I don't put pre-choruses in. I find them cheesy and pointless. So yeah, proper.
Ooh, I love a pre-chorus.
I don't like pre-chorus sections. So yeah, every song is just getting longer and longer. I think we're lucky. I think we've got 2 that are less than 4 minutes. Everything else is 4 to 7.
Solid. I mean, I remember when I was I love it. Right, this ages me. When I was dating my now wife, when we didn't have a car, so we used to, if we were going to see family or whatever, we'd take a train and we'd share my iPod. Wow. So that she was kind of discovering my music. And when have you heard the Led Zepp album How the West Was Won, the live album? I love that album. She was like, how is this song 22 minutes long? And I'm like, what? To be fair, there's lots in that. There's lots of random asides. But yeah, it's possible. And
did you get to listen to Sleep at all?
Oh no, I haven't. No.
Yeah, I think is it what is it? Is it Dope Phone or Dope Smoker, the album? There's just 2 tracks that's like an hour long. That's a perfect album. Just have 2 tracks that is 6 tracks in one. Make it feel like a live album.
So these 4 tracks that you've done for the album, is that the album? Yeah,
basically. No, it's bad. I was talking to my missus the other day, and I was basically saying, like, we're 4 tracks into this album, and currently we're at like 24 minutes, which is terrible. It's really bad. But a load of the songs are kind of, we've brought back like long guitar solos on albums. No one does it anymore. Every guitarist magazine and everything, it's like, if you hear the solo in that, and it's like, it's pointless. It's just it's really fast tready stuff for like 30 seconds breakdown, and it's the same everywhere. No one's doing like what Zepp used to do, where it was like In My Time of Day, and it was like, what, 9 minutes long. And it's just, the middle section is completely pointless. To go back to it 4 times. But like, no one does fun long guitar solos anymore, and it's kind of what we're doing. I mean, one of the tracks has got 2. It's big solo section for like 2 minutes, and then chorus, and then halfway through the last chorus, another solo, just behind the thing, because we wanted to take this album, I think, more from all of us doing the same thing. Like, here's a drum beat, here's a verse, here's a chorus, and everyone very linear. Whereas this album, I said to Charlie, I says, what about if under this riff, he says, I can't think of a beat. And it's like, well, what about if you don't do a beat? What about if you do like the Black Sabbath thing, or the like a lot of the 70s stuff, where it's just constant like chaos drum fills over a riff that then leads into a verse. Or so that's how this album's going. Like, one of the tracks that we wrote, we've started demoing vocals on, and it's insane. Like, we're really happy with it. And then there's another track that's a bit more, like, we've got a track called She Said on the album, and that's like our radio track, like our 3-minute radio track. There's another track that's kind of like that, but it's a bit more serious in terms of like how it sounds. So we've got that, and that's probably the shortest one, which is 4 minutes, that new one. Then we started writing another one, and I think I was just really annoyed one day, and I figured out on the Strymon timeline that you can do self-oscillation. If you put an expression switch in, you can make like the really spacey noises, which is brilliant. So I was like, what if we do that? And then I'd left my wah on by accident, so I went into this riff, and it's just bends. It's just really slow, like skanky bends. It's great. But because I'd left my wah on and my timeline was still oscillating, it was this really cool wall of noise. So I've got this track that is just like an absolute wall of noise. It's it's brilliant. We all, like I say, if we don't look at each other and like pull that face, you know, like the disgusted face, we don't carry on the song. And that's what every track so far we've done is done. It's, yeah, I mean, we probably need to figure out how to shorten them, because 24 minutes for 4 songs is horrendous.
It's up to you. I don't know. It doesn't bother a lot of people, you know, in that who like that kind of music. So
it's just if people will listen to it.
Well, that's always true. But I mean, that's the challenge of the modern world, isn't it? And social media, and there's so much you can do with your time that getting people to listen to music can be quite difficult.
I think. I mean, I'm a bugger for it, to be honest. Like in the car, I'll listen to half a song, and I want to listen to another one now. Like I can't. Mrs. says I've got like song ADHD, where I just want to change it all the time, and it's terrible. But like I think since it's been since COVID, I noticed that switch of attention spans being like 30-second clips on TikTok. Like if you can't catch them in 30 seconds, there's no point doing it. And it's really hard because like a lot of songs I listen to, a lot of bands I listen to are long songs, but like a lot of bands that are making it really popular, it's 3.5 minutes. It's like 18 songs in a set. Let's bash out 3.5, 4-minute songs, and I can't do it. I can't write short songs because I like putting things in.
I mean, what that's telling me is that the audience that they are, certainly on social media, is not the same as the audience that you should be trying to reach.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
yeah.
It's like we've got some shows coming up in August, and we're starting to get on some more named festivals in terms of like these tickets are expensive. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we played a show a while back. I can't remember which show it were, but tickets were 23 quid to see, and we were main support. And I didn't ask any of my mates that I'd usually say, like, oh, do you fancy coming? To come, because it's like I couldn't justify people spending 23 quid on me. But now we're getting to some more of these bigger named festivals. It's like it's working a lot in our favour, because if you see like a name like on download, say you see Aerosmith, people are going to go listen to a 7-minute Aerosmith song because it's Aerosmith. People aren't going to go listen to just in terms of listening, people aren't going to go and listen to a 6-minute song of me trying to be Led Zeppelin. It's that kind of getting people to differentiate, especially like people that I know. It's getting them to differentiate band me and normal like life me. Like a few of my my old work colleagues came to see us at Leadmill, and a lot of them went, I knew you were serious about it, but we didn't think it were like this kind of serious. And I was like, no, what do you think I'm constantly like out? What would you think I was constantly out of work for? Like, I am serious. We are serious about it, and a lot of people don't realise like just what we do. I think people see bands and they see it as like, oh, my mate's in a covers band. He plays at the pub occasionally, and it's like, that's not us. So it was nice to see that people kind of realise what we do, but on the same thing, it's hard getting people to like differentiate what you do, because like I said to him, you'll happily spend like 30 quid on a t-shirt of that band, but we have to charge a lot less because you'll spend 30 quid on a Zeppelin t-shirt. You won't spend 30 quid on our t-shirt because who are we? And that's the issue.
I mean, the thing you've got to remember about the band t-shirts as well, purpose is different.
Yeah.
It's big, like older big bands,
yeah.
You know, who maybe aren't around anymore as well, to yourselves. If someone chooses to wear a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, since you know, they're not an active band anymore, that's saying something about themselves, I think. Whereas if someone buys your t-shirt, what that's really doing for you is a bit of advertisement. You know, I wear some band t-shirts that, you know, are small bands that I know and I've seen, and I usually get a question of, oh, who are they? And so I get to tell them. And so it's seeing it as like a mini marketing opportunity, isn't it?
It's the whole exposure thing. It's we are genuinely being paid in exposure when people buy merch. It's great. I mean, we did the album campaign and we were like, do we really think we can sell this many vinyls? But we had a meeting with our management and we were like, and they said to us, right, you've got 2 choices. You can buy all your product outright and we can do a chart campaign, or we can do a chart campaign if you make enough sales, so like enough in pre-orders to then go and order the stuff. And we were like, oh, well, order it and then put the rest of the money in. But we were like, no. And I said to us, we didn't work this hard and have these many issues getting the band finally on its feet to not go for the charts. And there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of, do you really think you can do that? Do you really think you'll be able to do that? And it's like, well, yeah, I do, actually. I really do. And we took the plunge. We bought all the vinyls outright. The CDs, we kind of bought outright, but it was one of those, we bought the CDs. We had the digipacks made ourselves by somebody because I was going to do it. I looked into how to do it. But for the price of all the stuff you need to make it, you can just get them made. Whereas CDs, I'm not paying somebody like for 200 CDs, I'm not paying them 300 quid to burn the CDs myself and print them myself when I've got a professional disc printer at home. Like, so we did all that ourselves. So it was a lot of like guerrilla tactic in it. It was a lot of what can we do ourselves? I can't do vinyl, but I can design everything. So there was a lot of that in it where we came to the album and we were like, right, we've done this many sales so far. And then all of a sudden the album happened and it went mad for that week. We didn't know what we were going to hit, and we ended up we hit 4 chart placements on our debut, which is mad because a lot of bands do it on the second, but we were like, no, we'll be really annoyed to find out that we sold enough copies to make it into the charts and we didn't do it, especially since all they do is take a cut of whatever you sell, I don't care. So we hit top 10, top 25, top 10, top 20, top 40 and top 75 on the charts. We didn't hit the rock charts because they didn't class us as a rock band. Yeah, they classed us as blues, jazz, and Americana.
Ooh.
Yeah, worked that one out.
Okay.
I don't think we have any Americana elements.
Do you not have a choice in?
No, you send your music to it. You send your music, so they listen to it, and they'll choose the genre that they think you fit in. So one album could be rock. There's another band on our management that are solely like classic rock. They got put in the jazz Americana class. So we asked them, like, what did we do? Did we not hit enough sales? Or no, you hit enough sales, but we didn't know what to classify you as. It's like, obviously rock. It's like there's not really an odd thing there, is it? It's rock.
I mean, I sometimes it depends who listened to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the definition of what rock is, and certainly where that turns into metal, is a lot further now than it used to be. Like, a lot of stuff that was metal is now rock.
Yeah.
So it's where's that line? And I guess you maybe, I don't want to say you've fallen off the end, but you know what I mean.
We've not hit like the current 2025 like rock kind of characteristics, and it's like, it was weird because we got it and we were like, we've hit every chart and we've hit the big one as well. Like, you know, like the top 100. We're like, cool. I mean, we beat ABBA, so I'm happy about that. But at the same time, we were like, what are we? What have we not hit? And then we did look in the rock charts and we were like, that's not rock. That's like, it was like what I'd class as like punk and like post-punk stuff. It was like, where's the line? Yeah. Because it was like, it was weird. So we were all shocked because even management were like, why have you not hit the rock charts with that many sales and positioning, or like, especially with the top 10 one, we should have been in somewhere. And it was like, what are we? we sat down having this, like, we sat down and I went, I'm currently having a crisis, like, what am I? What am I? Yeah, honestly, it was so weird.
Wow, well, that's a world I haven't known about, so that's interesting.
I didn't know about it, and it's a pain now to have to do it.
Get a heavier sound next time.
7 strings coming back out.
Yeah, 7 string. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, what goals do you guys have for the band for the next like 6 months to a year or so? What's your aims?
It's a bit weird because the aim never changes. It's a constant aim. Like, we want to get to a point where we're able to do a headline show in like 15 cities and be able to not have to try and push tickets ourselves. Like, because there's still, I mean, we're doing Sheffield, we know we'll push tickets ourselves, like, oh, do you want to come? But we know we'll sell it. Same with Chesterfield. Derby, we're kind of a bit hit and miss. Nottingham, we're a bit hit and miss. It's like, we can do it, but what's the cap? But I think the thing for us is, like, I mean, I don't want to big us up, but a lot of people don't really realise just, like, the kind of level that we feel we're at musically. Like, it happens every festival, and it's every festival, every gig, it's, you should have been on later. Why does nobody know about it? You should have been on here. Why aren't you playing this festival? You should be here. It's like, well, listen to us then. Like, buy a ticket. because it's mad that the main criticism we get is why aren't we playing later, and it's happened with a few festivals that we've got this year in terms of we entered voting for them, we hit the crowd vote, and it's like we didn't make the final vote because these votes are how many friends have you got, and I hate it. It shouldn't be like that. And we'll get an email like, look, you didn't win the vote, but I've listened to you now and I want to book you a year in advance for our festival this year, or next year, sorry. And we're on a festival in August. I can't say where or which because we've been confirmed, but the rest of the lineup for that day hasn't. But it's the band names that we're playing with. It's like 15-year-old me would be crying, and it's mad. Like we're playing with these names. We got asked back because the headliners of one of these days on this festival specifically requested us. And I got this email, like, I mean, I'd applied to, I emailed them, says, look, we'd love to play again if there's space. Didn't hear anything back. Got an email saying, oh, such and such from the headline band of the main stage has requested you. It's like, cool. It's like, we're doing everything right. And but people seem to have this like sheet over their eyes in terms of, now these guys aren't popular. Like, we've got, in terms of bands will ask us. I mean, we did the application for a few of our shows, and I thought we'd get like 10 or 11 bands apply throughout the cities. We had 74.
Yes, I saw that actually.
It was ridiculous. I remember seeing that on social media. So then I've had to make a spreadsheet to listen to them all, but now I've got bands in pretty much every city to put on at different shows. But it's like, all these bands, I mean, some of them are on like 20,000 listeners, some of them are way bigger. And they're like, yeah, we'd love to support you. And it's mental. We've got support from the bands, support from the people that know us. But like, there's just a lot of doubt for no reason. I guess because there's not really much known about us other than this debut album's done really well. And yeah, they're good. But because it's all happened so fast, we've not kind of got a track record yet of what we can do. And I think that's the main issue, is what we've got is we've not got the credibility of people who've been doing it 6 years.
My penultimate question for you is, what is your best piece of advice for bands nowadays? It's a deliberately vague and open question.
Just do it. I know it gets said a lot, but like, stop overthinking things in terms of, can I do it? We've had it a lot in ours, like birthdays, events, and family members or like friends are still going to be there, hopefully, next year. Like, I'll scrap any event I've got on for a show. I don't care. I'm having a birthday next year. I don't really like celebrating at this point because it just says I'm getting old. But no, like, just do it. Because if you sit there trying to work around 5 people's private lives, you're never going to get it. It's never going to happen. Whereas we've kind of you've got to get into the mentality of, if you want to do it, it needs to kind of be at the forefront of everything. Like, and that's what I've kind of made it for me. It's everything. So the only thing I can really say is, like, kind of just go for it, put as much effort as you can into it. Like, if people around you support it, they won't mind that you're missing a birthday or this. And if they really do kick off that you're missing a birthday, then they don't support it in the first place. And I've got the full kind of support from friends, family, missus, band members. I had it from work when I was working, and it was like, you need that. You need to surround yourself with people that want you to do it, not people that want you to do it on their time, because that's just not how it works. And especially in bands, they need daily kind of promotion. You've got to become basically an influencer for yourself, and it's hard. But no, and then I have a lot of younger bands in my studio, and they've asked me for advice. Or like, one of them's they're a cover band, but they've got like 26 songs in this set. And they're like, we want to start doing gigs and stuff. What would you do? I'm like, just message around and do it. Like, it's all I do. I just hound people. I get on at people every day, to the point of, like, you can't ignore me at this point because your inbox is full of me. But that's the only thing. It don't really matter on, like, genre or kind of you personally. It doesn't really matter in any of that. It's just go for it. Put as much effort as you can into it. If people see that, they'll enjoy it.
To close out the podcast, I'd like to ask for your favourite song from the band, which is currently released, so maybe not one of the other 4, to play at the end of the podcast. So which song is it and why? So
I'm going to have you play Caught in Your Spell. It's my favourite song. It's the one that I mentioned earlier that came together in like 25 minutes. It's the one song on the album where everybody is doing something different. It's my favourite song. The music video, has a bittersweet story because it was me and my missus at 7 a.m. up in the Peak District, freezing cold, filming a music video. But it's my absolute favourite song on this album. I can't say what it is about it. That it's just, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Well, this is the Heavy Souls with Caught in Your Spell. Ben, it's been really great to chat with you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.